In life, there are many individuals that you are meant to cross paths with. Some are friends, and some are possible divine partners. Okay. And in the spirit realm, before you get here, you know more about what's going to happen as opposed to when you do get here and then it's a clean slate. You don't remember any of it anymore. Now, over time, as you begin to live and grow and become more complex, you begin to recognize who you are when you take that path. If you don't take that path of wanting to know more about you and understanding yourself, you will not be in the right condition spiritually to be able to align with your divine partner, because it's not likely that you would do the work because you don't know anything about it and you didn't take the time to seek. You know that saying, when you seek you shall find? Okay. Now I think I'm gonna leave it there and then I'm gonna continue. So good day, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Milk Honey Rose. I am Mystic Alchemy. Thank you for being here. This person, once you walk into their timeline, and if you already have, they're going to be very overprotective of you because they signed for you. Now, this is not going to be something that they will remember, and they're just going to know that they feel responsible for you because they'll be in a divine, how can I say? I heard they'll be enveloped in the divine. Okay. And they are also meant to be delivered to you. Now, the ones who are in a healthy state of mind and a healthy state of being, they'll recognize you very quickly, the one that is meant for you. Now, if you feel this connection with someone and they're not ready for you, there's going to be a distortion within the relationship. There's going to be static. And then you're going to know that that person hasn't done enough work to be with you because you've done the work. If one individual in this divine union does the work and the other one does not, the connection is meant to heal. That's what the divine union turns into. Which, yes, we heal from every relationship if we choose to pay attention to the lessons. However, when it's like a divine union, when you're actually meant to be with that person, you'll gravitate to each other for lessons, for you to see what you need to see, and then you move on. It will be temporary. It could have been permanent. It's just that either you or your person didn't do the work. And most of the time, well, I can't say that because it could be, yeah, you are the person, okay, that didn't do the work. Whoever didn't do the work must learn from you or whatever you have to teach them spiritually, and then you separate with one another. Another reason why certain divine unions don't come together is because one person or both have too much emotions that they can't really handle yet. They haven't figured out how to manage their emotional intelligence. They didn't get there yet. And that's a real thing. Some people might not understand it, but that just means that they never really tapped into their emotions and they've been walking cold for most of their life or all of their life. Okay? That still doesn't mean that they don't love, though. It's just that they would have a certain energy that doesn't fully represent them. And it's actually, how can I say? It's excuse me, it's unlikely that that type of person would get into a divine union because of their distortions, because they might be like overly aggressive or something like that. There would be some type of emotional imbalance that not everybody knows about that their spouse would have to deal with. Their spouse would deal with it until that person learns on the journey. That's like usually when people get together when they're really young. And one of them could be very overbearing, but they still love each other. And they still recognize the signature that was signed between the two of them because they're so drawn to each other and so overprotective of each other. Okay. It's like looking at somebody and like you're mine, and very territorial. Okay, that's because you have something special way before you even laid eyes on each other. All right. Now, where else are we going with this message? It just came to me, so I'm just relaying this channel message. Okay, so if you meet in some way or encounter your divine partner, you do, okay. So if your person is at that point spiritually where they're empathic and you can feel each other, you do speak to each other. And it sounds crazy for some, but you do speak to each other energetically in the 5D, in the spirit realm, because you must remember this relationship began in spirit. Divine unions begin in spirit. They don't begin in the physical. Okay? Okay. If one of you or both of you is not ready for the relationship, then you won't be together. You won't end up with the person. It could happen, but it's just not likely, because somebody's bound to flip the script on the relationship and cause an error, and then the relationship won't work and there'll be a separation. But it is a wonderful experience because some people have experienced this as well, to be with their divine partner and go through the rough patch of them still learning, and then they change, and they genuinely change. It's not like, oh, they said they're going to change and they never change. No, some people actually change within a relationship. Like those people that have been together for 30 years, and then the husband or the wife has like an extreme anger issue or something like that in the beginning, but the love is still there. And then over time, as the relationship grows older, it's either it gets better or it gets worse. And for some, it does get better. It's just, unfortunately, we don't always hear about those stories, but it does happen to where people spiritually grow while in a relationship with somebody. Okay. And it also is more likely when the two individuals are headstrong. And I say that in a way not of like bullish, but I mean headstrong by not being so influenced. They're not easily influenced. So they're more likely to stay on their own path, regardless of if they have things they need to work on or not. So many of you have met a divine partner that was meant to be for you, but they didn't pass the test with you because they fumbled you. Once they saw you, they didn't recognize you, but they felt something, but they wanted to deny it. They didn't recognize who you were, so they mistreated you. And then you chose to move on because they didn't recognize who you were and they didn't value you. So you left them where they were. And that's a good thing, because some people that don't go through the shadow work, they'll stay with people like that. And it's a really challenging experience. It's more challenging than just a normal relationship. A relationship that's toxic that's not what you want. So there are partners that could be divine, but they missed the mark because they never did the work. So they continue to act in such a way that is abusive and overbearing. Okay, this is the message for you to keep in mind on your journey when you're communicating and connecting with people. Pay attention to your emotions. Never forget that. Pay attention to how you feel. I'm not saying be emotional. I'm saying that when you pay attention to your emotions are linked to your intuition. Your intuition is linked to your authenticity, and it's linked to who you're truly meant to be with, because it will feel right. You won't feel unsure, uneasy, or anything like that. You will feel free with the person, like you can say anything. That person is also your best friend. You know, it's there's a special dynamic in a divine union that you can't miss it. It's too clear. And anyone around you would see it as well. Okay. Now, there's another aspect of it. Now, when other people around you see it, they could get very jealous because they don't have it. And then they'll start to put seeds in the minds parts of this divine union, no matter if it's family or friends, and they'll say things that are discouraging. Okay, sometimes you have to be able to discern whether someone's trying to discourage you, though, or if they're telling you the truth, to be careful because they see something. That's something that you want to hold on to and pay attention to be able to recognize if someone means well or if they're trying to stop a divine union from coming together. Okay, so these are some aspects of a divine union, why they don't always come together, what can cause a divine union contract to be breached, because it's a soul contract, and those who don't do the work or didn't do the work in the allotted time, they breach the contract and then they can't be with you. They're not allowed to be with you, because if they're with you, then it will stop you from doing what you're meant to do. So you are meant to be aligned with someone who will support you on your journey, not break you down and like have you in a mentality that's not even yours. That's not healthy, and it doesn't make sense to force something like that, because a lot of people force relationships that aren't really relationship quality, and they suffer from it just to say that they're in a relationship. Spirit wants to make sure that you guys are not thinking in that way, because there's someone for everyone. And even if one of the options that you have as a divine union doesn't work out, they will be swapped. They will be replaced. It's just that on this journey, you must always make sure that you're working on yourself as well. That's the whole point. It's the learning. It's the progression of life. It's the experience. When you love on yourself and you do things that make you happy and make you feel good, your energy is like that. It's just like that all the time, most times. Maybe not all the time, because, life is life. Sometimes things get frustrating and things like that because you have your own thing going on. Sometimes things don't go as you want them to, right? However, generally, you're in a good mood. You know how to maintain your own energy and your own emotions. You don't allow little things to get to you. You lash out on people. Okay, you have control. You have self-control. And that's what emotional intelligence really is. It's being able to conduct yourself in a pleasant manner, decent manner. Maybe not always pleasant, because sometimes situations don't call for that. It's like you must know when to be in protection mode and when to be more freeing with your energy, because there's a time for everything. Okay. So Spirit just wants to give you this reminder, because for some of you I'm hearing, some of you might be waiting for someone. Continue to live, okay? Because sometimes the person that you may be waiting for, not to say that they're not your divine partner, because they could be. It's just that they breached a contract and they didn't do the work that they were meant to do in the allotted time. Okay? So then they get replaced. So if you keep holding on to someone who let go, then you will become stagnant, and you won't have the openness and the space in your life for the person that you're actually meant to connect with. And that's the person who truly will understand love and know how to give it to you, instead of you like hoping and wishing for a change when that person hasn't done the work. We could guide someone to do the work, but they have to do it ultimately. We can't force anybody to do anything. So yes, that's it for this message. If you resonate with this message and you see this energy as suitable to walk with you on your spiritual journey, drop down in the comments below. I declare this is my future love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Oh, make sure you go for the healthy version now, not the one that I told you about that is not right. If they're not right, they can't be with you. If you allow them in, you will suffer. Okay? So just remember that part, because that's key. Okay? Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you feel in my vibe, especially if this message does resonate with you. To book a healthy conversation, you can by visiting www.milkhoneyrose.org. Also, you could join the membership here on YouTube for additional content. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.